Hi, this is Ed Halpus for the Education Committee of the Grand Lodge of Minnesota. I'm here to make another education video for our Grand Lodge, and what I'm holding up here is a Masonic apron. It happens to be the apron I was given when I was made a Mason a long time ago. And as most Masons know, when I was given this, I was told to keep it unspotted by the world as an emblem of innocence because it is a badge of a Mason. And that leads me into the text of my talk. The first gift that a Mason is given when he's made a Mason is the white leather apron. It's given to him by the master of his lodge on behalf of the fraternity. It's tangible evidence of his admission into the fraternity, and it's the first symbol that is presented to him. It's the first gift given to him by Masonry, and it's the first one that's explained to him. Many a Mason, when he's finally presented with his apron, he's told about preserving it so that it can be placed upon his body or his coffin when the time comes, and that he should keep it spotless. The message about keeping it spotless stresses the actual cleanliness of the physical apron, but it's also symbolic. When we consider the Masonic apron, we'll notice that it's not a square, at least not a square as we know a square to be today. It is an oblong square. And this might be important to remember, or it is important to remember, because it concerns each of our aprons. In ancient times, any four-sided figure was referred to as a square. When the figure was equilateral, it was spoken of being as a perfect square. If it was what we now call a rectangle, it was called an oblong square. The symbolic meaning of an oblong square is that it is an imperfect square. And this is what is meant when a candidate and a newly made Mason stands, forming the right angle of an oblong square. The candidate for the degrees of Masonry, by standing in this position, is symbolic. The symbolism says that the candidate has tried to live his life as nearly on the square as possible for an honest, moral, and upright man to do, without the benefit of the great moral teachings of Freemasonry, which he has come to the lodge to learn. Whether the candidate knows it or not, he is symbolically saying to the brethren present for his degree that he has been living the best he could with his limited knowledge. He has a desire for higher things, and that is why he has lived straight and why he petitioned for the degrees. If the apron lecture, or I should say in the apron lecture, the new Mason is told how the apron is an emblem of innocence and the badge of a Mason. In the second section of the lecture of the degree, he is reminded how the Lamb in all ages has been deemed an emblem of innocence, and told the apron should remind him of his purity of life and conduct, which is essentially necessary for a Freemason. Innocence and purity, they are two different things. Purity is different because it includes and has the meaning of knowledge. A child is innocent and may be said to be pure also, but its purity is the purity of ignorance and inexperience, not the purity of knowledge and conscious choice. The child, though innocent and clean, has not yet been tried by temptation, and its strength has not yet been developed. Purity for the new Mason has the added meaning of knowledge and of his resistance to temptation to do wrong. The white color of the apron symbolizes purity. Purity of the one who has experienced all temptations, as well as adverse conditions, and consciously chooses righteousness. To do what is right in the right way because it is right. That's the definition of righteousness I came up with. White also symbolizes innocence. Innocence is another significant quality because innocence means to the Mason harmlessness. The candidate has been taught to be as square as he can be in his relations with others, to lay aside prejudice, and to listen with an unbiased mind to that truth, which has been handed down from the ages past. All these lessons have been repeated again and again in different ways, and now he is taught that his whole attitude toward others must be one of harmlessness as well as justice. In the apron lecture of the Preston Webb work is a sentence or two that's really pretty good. It is yours to, as regards the apron, it is yours to wear. Let me start that over. It says it is yours. Yours to wear through an honorable life, and at your death to be placed upon the coffin which contains your earthly remains. If you disgrace it, the disgrace will be augmented by the consciousness that you have been taught in this lodge the principles of a correct and manly life. My brother, may you so wear this emblem of spotless white that no act of yours shall ever stain its purity, or cast a reflection upon this ancient and honorable institution that has outlived the fortunes of kings and the mutations of empires. So, unspotted by the world does not mean only keeping our aprons physically clean and spotless. It has a deeper meaning regarding our character and our conduct. Unspotted by the world means each individual Mason living so as not to bring discredit to himself and thus keep his apron unspotted. My reference for the part that talked about the Preston Webb work comes from Coyle's Masonic Encyclopedia, the 1995 edition, in case you'd like to look that up. Some other information in this talk paper that I had is from The Lost Key by Prentice Tucker, and then also from a book called The Newly Made Mason. I think that's by A.E. Waite. I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't write that part down. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. I hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to look away so I can stop the video right now. So long.